You know, the day I make another video, I really didn't imagine it to be a tier list. But hello everyone, welcome to this meme tier list. But you know what? The only anime that exists is Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's just get right started on it. I don't care. No introductions. You know what? Let's just get around with it. Okay, Fubuki Tenjoin, S tier. You know what? He's pretty handsome. He gets all the girls. And you know what? Okay, joking aside, why he's S tier is because he had pretty much a good development on season 4, but you know what, since season 4 is the only time he actually had development and an actual motivation, he's going to move to A tier. Okay, C tier. You know what, he's he's a comic relief. Anyway, Aki Zayoi, S tier. If I would listen to Brad, he would kill me if I don't put her on S tier, but you know what, since it's Brad, F tier. Akira's Zaizen. You know what? Akira's a pretty chill guy. He was kind of like a dick on season 1, but you know what? He got character development and progressed. But you know what? He also pretty much didn't do anything in terms of dueling, but he did do his best as a supporting background character. So you know what? I'll put him in B tier. Forgot his sub name. Forgot his name. I know his name is Alistair, the dub, but you know what? Alistair. Let's go with Alistair. I would put him on basically D tier. You know what? His brother got killed, like, by a tank, or I guess kidnapped, but other than that, his motivations were kind of petty, I would say. Well, actually not really petty, since, you know, like, when your brother gets killed by a tank during war, and if you see the guy who was responsible was Kaiba Corp basically supplying the weapons, but it turns out to be darts. But you know what? He was pretty much kind of petty in a way. I mean, like, it's kind of cool he, you know what, tried to kill himself in Kaiba since he didn't know he was gonna win because it's Kaiba. So I'll just give him on C tier. You know what? C tier. Alit. You know what? I like his duels. A tier. Amon Garam. I wanted to enjoy Amon, but he was kind of put in season 3, like as kind of like a chill character with background, kind of similar to Rishid. How, you know, he got a brother, he wanted to kill his brother, but apparently, like, his brother was, I don't know, like, accepted him as a brother, so he wanted to take care of him and be the best brother he could be. But then they put a twist on it, on how Yubel corrupted him with his true ambitions that was bottled up inside. So it was very interesting, but how they executed it in, like, the mid-season 3 was a bit of a oof. But you know what? He was alright. You know, killing your own girlfriend for Exodia deserves you to be on S tier. Bruno, you know what? My boy Bruno, he plays TGs. He was basically the main cast of season 3, except he kind of didn't do anything until he actually became his future self. But you know what? His duels were great, and actually, I actually kind of cried when he died when I was a kid. So you know what? He's pretty cool. S tier. Aoi Zaizen, F tier. No, I'm kidding. Aoi Zaizen, I thought would be, you know, the female to be always get cucked, you know? Like, all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Female characters kind of get thrown in the garbage and kind of be used as a waifu material. I mean, that's pretty much. But you know what? Her duel against Bowman was great, and how she's in the plot right now is pretty interesting. I mean, season 2, she was kind of there, but they finally put her into the plot and made her relation with Aqua, which at least she wasn't a lost incident character, but I mean, she's alright. I liked her duel against Bowman. That kind of made me respect B tier. Aporia. Basically a fusion of all the 3 machine emperors. He was alright. I think the reason why I like Aporia a lot more is because of how he changed during Zone and his backstory, which was very kind of heart-wrenching. I think he's pretty much an alright character, and you know what? His death scene and giving Yusei a motorcycle with wings was pretty cool. So you know what? S tier. Aqua. You know what? She was like, okay, I believe when Aqua showed up, I believe that her and Earth were actually gonna be a thing, and oh, romance that actually works in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, it's not the human characters, but I mean, like, romance is always cursed, so I thought she was going to break the curse, but you know what? She didn't. Neither did her, so C tier. And also, she kind of really just sat there and didn't really do anything but support. I mean, her personality was very consistent throughout the show, and she didn't get any major changes. I guess when she made a grade for Go was pretty cute and all. Let's see, Pandora. You know what? He uses Black Magician. It's kind of funny how he actually gets more development and more insights in the anime, but his backstory is toned down in the anime as well. I actually like that he's voiced by Dio also. So you know what? B tier. Edo Phoenix. I'm not sure if this is the only Edo Phoenix, if this is the Arc 5 one. I don't see any Edo Phoenix on here other than this one. So you know what? Edo Phoenix, GX, and Arc 5 are completely different. Completely different. Because the GX one actually won duels and actually had a proper development. No, okay, let me talk about the GX one. GX one, he's S tier, because he actually beat Judai. I guess he wasn't the first one to beat Judai, but you know what? He beat Judai, and Judai actually got character development. He's a pro duelist. He's pretty. His D heroes are pretty cool. Season 2, I feel like that he actually got proper development, got a backstory, and was pretty much the Deuterodagus or something. I don't know, the second protag or something like that. But anyway, he was a pretty cool character. I liked when he speaked English quotes like "Dro guys go fight." I guess that was in Arc 5, but like Blue D Dogma guy. You know, mostly his heroes are cool, and he's also a pretty cool character. I liked him a lot in Season 3, how he actually changed and wanted to support Judai as a friend. And even though he had a very minor role, his duel against Amon was pretty great, and how he tried to save Amon's girlfriend was pretty cute. It was like a love triangle thing for some reason. But you know what? He died, took one for the team, got killed by Exodia, so S tier. You know what? And he also came back and dueled Manjome, but lost. But you know what? That's fine. But the Arc 5 one, he came back in a very cool, like, cloaked. He's the Commander-in-Chief. You know what? He would be S tier if he had character to back up on it. But in the Arc 5 one, he kind of whined about his ideals drifting because of Yugioh's smile, which kind of really didn't make sense of his attitude. And when he lost against Yugioh, his temper tantrum kind of killed his character. Like, I mean, just a bit kinda, but you know what? Arc 5 one, his design, his deck, and after he turned to the good side, he was pretty cool and chill. So you know what? He would be probably C tier, because I have a huge bias of Edo. Astral, my boy. Basically the second protag of Zale. Basically, Yuma wouldn't be shit without Astral. But anyway, Astral's a pretty cool boy. I still haven't rewatched Zale fully, but I really did like him during the last season, which I actually rewatched a lot of times. And and how Astral and Yuma's partnership developed and grew throughout the show was really cool and really good. They started out not liking each other, but became really close friends at the very end, and became inseparable. And you know what? Astral's a pretty cool character, and they've developed them all. A tier. Asuka Tenjoin, S tier. She's the GX waifu. I don't care what you say. What's that? She got barely any duels during season 3 and season 4. I don't give a shit. S tier. And also S tier. Okay, let's see. Austin O'Brien. He's a cool guy. You know, he has a duel disc with guns, and the ammo are cards. So I don't know if the cards are actually just, you know, ammo that looks like cards or actually his cards. So I don't know if he has multiple decks or volcanics are just like a common printed deck that's so easy to use, but apparently he's the only one who can use it. I mean, you know what? A duelist with a gun duel disc is pretty cool. That's a god tier right there. That's a god tier. Anyways, jokes aside, probably A tier. He's basically an ex-soldier that knows how to duel. That's kind of crazy on its own, but I really liked him. How he was developed during the Supreme King arc. How he actually felt fear for the first time, I think, and he actually stood up and, you know, brought Judai back to his senses, and his speech and, you know, pushed on this leadership by show was pretty cool, and I think he was a pretty all-around good character. I enjoyed him. Daichi Misawa. Honestly, Daichi Misawa, like how Konami cucks him, F tier. See, Daichi Misawa was supposed to be the second rival to Judai, or the third if you count Manjome, I guess, and Kaiser. But Daichi was a very, very missed opportunity. He was a very much a letdown. But you know what? He won in the end because season 3 he hooked up with the Amazoness chick he wanted to bang. So you know what? I guess he gets an S tier because you know what? He got the girl. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, almost no one gets the girl, but he got the girl. So S tier. Rei Satome. The lowly love interest for Judai, a C tier. Blood Shepherd. God, I love Blood Shepherd. You know what? Blood Shepherd is basically Austin, but you know, he knows how to use a gun right. He's like, you know what? I could duel you, but I can shoot you. And he does both. So you know what? S tier. Also, you know what? His backstory with his mother was pretty cool. Why he hates AI is kind of understandable, I guess. And you know, he had a pretty much a dick father, which kind of left his own mother and him just to, you know, fend for themselves in this economy. He's a skilled hacker. Honestly, he would be really nice and pretty much a chill guy if his mother didn't get into an accident. And I really enjoyed Blood Shepherd with Emma's duo, and I love to see more of him. I know he's dead right now, but hopefully I see more with him. Bowman. You know what? I take Vrain's characters a lot more seriously because I've been actually watching Vrain's and been more invested in. Bowman goes on C tier. I really can't meme him because I understand that they tried to make a villain that develops just like the protagonist, except the protagonist doesn't really develop, and Bowman kind of develops, I guess. Like, Bowman was introduced to be, like, you know, basically the JoJo of Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, in terms of design-wise. He was basically a mystery man. We didn't know what his motivations were. It was pretty cool that he got stronger each duel, even though he lost 3 times to the main rival. You know, he was kind of like Team Rocket, but I could understand how they were trying to build him up. But, you know, he never won against Playmaker, which is my biggest complaint. And I guess AI, like, we didn't know he was an AI. We thought he was a Lost Incident kid. I thought he was Wendy's Lost Incident partner. But you know what? Bowman's alright. I would say I liked how Yu-Gi-Oh! Tried to make Bowman into an evolving antagonist. Even though they failed, I mean, I guess they didn't really fail. It was okay. The execution was alright. I wish Bowman was a bit better. He got more wins. I guess he beat Soulburner and Blue Maiden, which makes him more of a threat at the very end. But I don't know how to feel about him. Um, he's an alright character. I liked how the AI, as Broman like progressively evolved, he was losing his emotions, which was an interesting concept. But you know what, Bowman, I gave Bowman too much of a credit and spotlight, so you know what, C tier. Bomber, he tried to kill Rex Godwin. That was the most memorable point, and also he got lynched by Rex's brother, Rudger, which was damn. He got like fucked by both of the Goodwin brothers. You know that's kind of weird. It's probably a hentai somewhere, but you know what? He's an alright character. I mean, EC. I'm okay with him. I think I liked his duel against Crow. His personality is alright, and his, you know, revenge kind of vengeance personality is also justified and doesn't make the character hateable or likable in terms of the revenge personality. I think it's all right done character. So it's a pretty decent side character. So C. Braun the Mad King. You know what? B tier, because he basically created Supreme King Judai and created Super Fusion. And you know what? I liked his very last words. He's like, they're already dead. Like, their blood is already drenched in this Coliseum. That was his last words to Judai. I think that was pretty cool. Anyways, Camula, F tier. Thought go away. Basically using hacks on duels? Nah. Carly, in terms of design, C tier, but in Dark Steiner design, B tier. I'll put her B tier because she was also a love interest for Jack that actually worked really well. Honestly, I didn't think she would die off by falling off of a building and become a Dark Steiner. I think no one really expected that, but her duel against Jack was really good. Her motivations was just like, you know what, getting love from Jack, which Jack already loved her. And I think the chemistry was really good. It's a shame they didn't really develop further. Apparently her voice actor was a cult member or something. But anyway, I'll put her on B tier because she had so much potential to be S tier and a good romantic love interest for Jack, but they really didn't develop it. Catherine, D tier. Another horror member for Yuma. I don't know how I feel about Kathy. I mean, she's a cat girl. That's pretty much it. Serena, C tier. I really didn't like Serena's personality in the beginning. I guess, you know, each Brasic girl has their own distinct personality, but Serena, there was just some off-putting about her tone. I did like her during Season 3, where she actually got some development on smiles and enjoying a duel. She was basically born in a fusion dimension where, you know what, dual Nazis. I mean, that's kind of explained already enough. But she betrayed and fought for what's right. So, you know what, Serena's a pretty good waifu, I guess. So, you know what, B tier. She gets B tier. Enjoy Chojiro, God tier. Dude, have you seen Guardians and how his duel? And let's enjoy God tier. Crow Hogan, B tier. Crow Hogan gets a lot of hate for, you know, I guess replacing Aki in Season 3 and Season 4, but I actually like Crow, his personality, his backstory, his duel, how he's called the Trickster of 5Ds. I like Aki and Crow basically on the same basis. Aki's there for the meme, obviously, but still. I like Crow a lot. And like, I think just hating him for, like, you know, just replacing a character and, like, back behind, just Crow getting hate for, like, what Aki could have been is kind of dumb, in my opinion. I mean, you're not hating a character for what he is, you're hating a character because, like, some character got scrapped. I feel like that's kind of dumb, and he wasn't a hateable character, he was a very enjoyable character. He had a good heart, but he was also kind of like, you know, a bit of a comic relief. But His duels were very cool. I wish he got, like, you know, a special synchro monster, but you know what? That's fine. Crow's a B tier. Dark Astral or number 96, he's alright. I mean, like I said, I really haven't rewatched Zale a lot, so, like, these opinions, I only really watched Zale's last season, which I really enjoyed, and that was pretty much why I liked Zale for the most part, to be honest. Like, they all built up really well for the last season, which made all the other arcs really enjoyable, in my opinion. But I have to really watch the other arcs. I think number 96 was a decent villain. Him killing Astral and Yuma's farewell was pretty heart-wrenching. It was pretty good, I would say. He was a good villain, but he got cucked by Vector. Rip him. Darkness. Darkness would be a C tier. I mean, he's basically the god of death. He's basically Satan. Like, he was built up, and he's basically God. I mean, what really can you develop God with? He's already perfect, like, in its own way. He's just the god of death. Judai beat God of Death. That was cool. I think Darkness was an alright villain, but I really don't like God characters at the very last arc because they're just gods. Because they're god of evil. They're evil. What are they supposed to be doing? Good when they're the god of evil? Anyways, Darkness is on C tier. I like this season 4, and don't get me wrong, I like Darkness as a villain, but you really can't do much interesting stuff with a god. Darts. C tier also. I like Darts' Doma, the Three Musketeers of Doma, his underlings, a lot more than Darts. Darts was just evil because he was getting controlled by the Orichalcos gem that apparently corrupts one person. I think it's very cool that he summoned an infinite attack point monster. That's pretty much the best feat he can get. And his mind games were strong, but he's kind of like similar to basically a character of a god. I mean, he's basically a god, so what really can you do with him? He basically planned everything, apparently manipulated everyone's past to working for him, and decided to revive his evil god. I mean, what character can you really go in depth with him? Akabareiji, A tier, because Akabareiji. I mean, look, he's Akabareiji. He summons through 4 summoning methods in 1 turn, which is already a achievement enough. His entrance when he first appeared was badass. He really stayed consistent in character, and I think he really didn't do anything wrong or anything really, I would say, kind of to nullify his badass demeanor. Basically beat most of the villains that were kind of jokes, and he was a pretty chill character. Like, you know, he acted like a hard ass in first season and second season, but he kind of acted more. He's actually a nice guy, I guess. He respects Yugioh, which is kind of cool because in season 1 and 2, no one respected Yugioh. So, you know what? I like Akabareiji, A tier. Dennis Macfield, S tier. His suicide scene. Anyway. Divine. D tier. Because he killed a kid on screen. Which he was supposed to do. So, yeah. I guess he's S tier then? For being a villain. He was a pretty good villain. He killed basically a lot of people in 5Ds, and his relationship with Aki was also really well developed in terms of as a villain. I think he was a very charismatic villain, and I mean, he was pretty cool. Dawn 1000. I basically explained Darkness and Darts, and that's how I feel about Dawn 1000. He's also a god. He's the god of Barians. He's evil. There's really not much you can do with it. But his actions influence pretty much a lot of good Barian characters. So, yeah, C tier. Kronos de Medici, D tier. Kronos, I would say, if he really, his deck is really cool. It's basically ancient mechs. Like, antique gears are really cool, but he basically lost almost every duel, except I guess his duel against Bonaparte and some other duel I probably don't remember. But Kronos was pretty much a dick for Judai, and I really didn't like him, but he actually got development and became an actual good professor who loves his students. So you know what? C tier. If he didn't get development, he would be D tier, but he actually got development. Derbe, C tier. I'm okay with Derbe. He was a good friend for Shark, and his backstory was the most least developed out of all the other Barian emperors. But I guess he was a chill character, he was a respectable character, and really, they didn't really do anything bad with Derbe. And his chemistry with Rio and Shark was really cool, and I didn't expect that at all. They hinted it, but I never catch it, and I think that was pretty cool. Earth, S tier. You know what? He fights for his own waifu. You know what? That's already enough. He fights for his waifu, okay? And he did everything to protect Aqua, which he did. Respectful, rip Earth. And his death scene was pretty sad also. Alpheus, C tier. Alpheus is a character, like, you know, he's kind of like a plot point for characters. You know how a character does not like this sort of group or believes in this because of how the world works or something like that. That's what Alpheus was, and he actually got development through Yuma, but Yuma is like a character who changes everyone, so it's kind of obvious. And Alpheus taking one for the team when Dawn Thousand was about to kill Astral was pretty heroic, so Alpheus is on C tier. Emma, Ghost Girl, A tier, waifu character. I'm surprised Emma actually got character development and actually became a big sister for Aoi, and her development with Blood Shepherd I really didn't expect at all, but it's a pretty cool chemistry. She was basically a treasure hunter, a bounty hunter, looking for money, and then she actually developed and actually grew a moral conscience for Akira and everyone else. So you know what? A tier. Flame, S tier. Flame is one of my favorite Ignises. If you like Soulburner, you'll probably like Flame also. He basically is the best Ignis, period. He basically helped Soulburner recover his trauma, even though the animation of that was pretty questionable. He basically helped Soulburner, was a supporting character, basically his parent, if I would say, for Soulburner, and best friend. Soulburner and Flame's chemistry was very good, and Flame actually helped Soulburner calm down and reined him and made Soulburner into a good duelist and kind of helped Soulburner grow. And then Flame was the only Ignis I felt genuinely sad for when he actually died, and I didn't think they would actually kill him off unless Season 3 brings him back, which I really think they shouldn't. But Flame was an actual decent character. I actually love his character. He's a really good supporting character. Shivers Kid, F tier. Oh, no, I'm sorry. God tier. Dude, have you listened to his voice? It's Shivers Kid. Zark. God tier. He's God. He basically killed everyone. No, fuck F tier. Honestly, fuck Zark. He was a disappointment. He was only a plot. Forgot his name, but it's the guy with the giant hand. Sorry, I forgot your name. All to his best, bud. I really didn't care about him that much. His chemistry with Alita was great, and his last moment protecting Yuya and taking one for the team was great also. I think he was a good side character that developed other side characters. That's why I liked him a lot. I really didn't like him. He was basically a comic relief villain on the first half of second season, so C tier. Gloria, she's hot, A tier. Gungensaka, I really want to put Gungensaka higher. Like, he should have won duels. Like, he was basically the Jonochi Katsuya or the Joey Wheeler to Yuya. And his duel, he didn't duel bad. It's just that bad matchup syndrome, which is common in Yu-Gi-Oh! So Kangensaka, I feel like, really deserved to be higher but C tier. I think he was a really decent character, but they really didn't do anything with him. His duel against BB was really cool though, I guess, if you really want to talk about it. God, there's like so many characters and I have to rank them all. God, okay. Go Onizuka. I mean, if you looked at my Twitter, you already know how I feel about Go Onizuka. S tier. Honestly, A tier, but honestly, he's a very underrated character. I more personally relate to Go because he never gives up. I mean, he's basically a shonen protagonist that's not a protag, so that's why he keeps failing. He never gives up. He does complain, but you know what? Who wouldn't complain if life is pretty shitty to him? He was basically the first top duelist. He lost his position, tried to get it back. The media was harsh on him. His fame was declining, and his own life and everything he worked for was gone because of Playmaker. I mean, who wouldn't be pissed? Who wouldn't turn into a bounty hunter and try to win against Playmaker to prove himself that he was better? I mean, he can be better. He was on a desperate, phase on Season 2, and that's why I liked him. He's so human. He's the most human character. And all his duels were really great. It's just bad matchup syndrome. But even though he lost, he really didn't whine about it. I guess during Season 2 he did whine about it during Soulburner, but his cult wasn't that bad. And also, he's not a dick character. Even though in Season 2 he kind of turned out to be a dick. Like, when he dueled Soulburner, he protected Soulburner when there was unfair interference outside. He's a decent character with a good heart, but no one really likes him, and no one really wants to see past what he is, which is really sad. But S tier, because he gets enough hate. He deserves to be on S tier. Gozaburo Kaiba. I liked him a lot better in the manga. Basically a dick father. C tier. The Noah's Ark, I really didn't rewatch that much, but I mean, he pretty much is a dick. I mean, that's all you can really say. Grace, S tier. She's white haired, but she's hotter than Gloria. That's it. Supreme King Judai, S tier. Supreme King Judai, I guess you really can't say it's Judai because it's his ancestor taking over Judai. But Supreme King Judai is one of the gems that we never really expected Judai to have. Judai actually felt guilt, despair, and depression in Season 3, which we never thought Judai would feel. He grew up, and growing up sucks. And you know what? Him becoming Supreme King Judai was so well done, and so unexpected. And the evil heroes are really cool as an archetype. So, S tier. Hayato, C tier. Like I said, he's a pretty good character. A very cool supporting cast. He kind of left during the middle of the show because they really didn't know what to do with him. He's a card designer. Got his dream. He's a nice supporting character. He showed up in Season 2, which was cool. C tier. He's not really a bad character. 4. S tier. I really didn't like 4 during Season 2. I liked him as a villain and kind of basically a kid who didn't get recognition from his own father and felt inferior and did what his father asked for, and his fan service and his quotes are so memeable and it's so laughable. And when he dueled against Shark, that was probably the highlight and his peak of his character, where he actually developed and wanted to bring that Shark back. And he's voiced by the same voice actor of Akiba Reiji. So, I mean, they're both great characters.
So bad news. Part of the video literally glitched out during editing, so I'm gonna have to make it part 1 and part 2 because the video itself is already like 30 minutes So I'm going to have to cut it there. But thank you. Sorry about that. And part 2 will be out shortly. And by shortly, I mean by 2099. See you guys then.
Okay, jokes aside, I'm putting the Shivers Kid on F tier and Aki on A tier. And Enjoy Chojuro in B tier. You know what? That was just for the memes. This is my actual tier list. Oh my god.